Gary Ferguson Reid, Intro, Part 5. I have no memory of being anyone other than who I am in this lifetime, but I identified with those words in Revelation chapter 16, verse 15. Behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth, and keepeth his garments, lest he walk naked, and they see his shame. That's the theme of my life. That's my story. I was blessed with a new idea about the second coming. I kept it to myself because of a physical form I could not bear, did not want to be, and hid to avoid the shame of it publicly. I guess God needed at least one of us to stay so locked into the idea at the physical level as to make it impossible for at least one of us to dismiss it completely. What I didn't understand at the time is that man is created for the God experience. Man is created to contain and impart God nature on earth, to contain and impart love, truth, and joy on earth. We are here to grow in God nature. We grow as a God being to the extent we express higher God nature in this world, to the extent we express absolute love, the love of all being, absolute truth, the truth that applies to all being, and perfect joy, the true nature of the soul of God. That is the God process we are all immersed within. When Jesus said, I and my Father are one, John chapter 10, verse 30, he was speaking as a human being and giving the truth of every human being. That's why his response to the witnesses about to stone him for those words, for that blasphemy, was, Ye are gods. Is it not written in your law, I said, Ye are gods? John chapter 10, verse 34. Man and God are one is the point we missed 2,000 years ago. In that truth is the potential of every human being to achieve the highest level of being possible in being human, Christhood. To sin is an archery term. It means to miss the mark. Christhood is the mark we all have missed. In that sense, and only in that sense, we are all sinners, immediately forgiven in the moment we know again our truth and engage the reason we are here, to evolve as a spirit, to grow in God nature. Every human being is on a path to Christhood. Jesus, the man, filled with the Christ, the power of God, for his service in reminding us about the power of love. Jesus saw God in every human being, and in never forgetting that truth, he filled with the power of absolute love, the love of all being, and reminded the human family to love God with all your heart, mind, and soul, and your neighbor as yourself. Jesus showed us the power of love to facilitate our growth in God. Expressing truth, to remind the human family of our oneness with God and each other, will do the same. What I had been shown in the vision was my path to Christhood. On my path, I am responsible to God to express the truth that applies to all being. Since God holds the truth of us, and only God gives increase to the vibrational frequency of the individual human spirit, my growth in God only happens if I discern correctly about the truth that applies to all being and express it. My spirit will be increased only if, and to the extent that, I share with depth and clarity all the God information I was given in the vision. Physical oneness would serve as a focal point through which truth could pour out upon the earth. Every man and woman would see themselves as half of that manifested image. Physical oneness would help restore the awareness that we have all come from oneness, and to oneness we are returning. Every man and woman has come from the first Adam, and every man and woman is in a process of becoming the second Adam. And since God created the first Adam in the image and likeness of God, we have all come from God, and to God we are all returning. We are here to become more of our inherent God nature, and God is one. God is evolving God's self in and through mankind, and each of us is the blessed beneficiary of that divine union. A year or two after the vision, I remember looking out a window and thinking to myself, the time has come today. Oneness will be the theme of the second coming, and it will center on the experience of physical oneness. I didn't know the full depth of what I had been shown. That would take me about 30 years. But in that moment, I believed the idea. It was only because I was beginning to believe in the idea I embodied that I could bear the life I was living. The vision remained imprinted on my mind throughout the years. I would often go to it as I tried to understand more. On one occasion, as I looked again upon the vision, I imagined the second Adam turning around 180 degrees. He was no longer an endpoint enclosing the history of the human race. Now he appeared as the head of a spear, aligned perfectly with the first Adam and God at the beginning, to give us origin and direction. Truth would lead us into the future. It would not depend on any one person. The divine plan to put Eve back into Adam would help restore the relationship of man and God. The truth of our oneness and origin in God would fill every human heart. We would understand our oneness with God, and we would understand the oneness of mankind. Then we would know as one, rather than be fragmented in belief.